The year was 1929. In a dark cell of Lahore Central Jail, a 23-year-old young man sat behind iron bars. His death was already decided, yet he held a book in his hands and 1,000 questions in his mind. His name was Bhagat Singh. While the world assumed the man awaiting the gallows would be consumed by fear and despair, Bhagat Singh wrote in a notebook every single day. This notebook later came before the world, known today as the Jail Diary. Spanning 404 pages, this diary shows us how a man, standing face to face with death, kept searching for knowledge, courage, and truth. Today, we will explore the deepest thoughts from this diary, in his own words, and with each idea, hear a story that will carry it straight to your heart.
Part 1. No one can kill an idea. In his diary, Bhagat Singh wrote, "It is ideas that cannot be killed by crushing individuals." This was not just a sentence, it was his entire philosophy of life. He knew the British government could hang his body, but they could never erase his ideas. Story: The Banyan Tree. In a small village in Rajasthan lived an old farmer named Hiralal. In his courtyard stood a massive banyan tree, planted by his great-grandfather. One year, a fierce storm struck, and the tree's largest branch snapped and fell. The villagers said the tree would now die. Hiralal smiled and said, "Have you ever seen a banyan's roots? Does this tree live through its branches or through its roots?" The next monsoon, 10 new shoots sprang up from where the broken branch had been. Hiralal told his grandson, "Whatever plants deep roots in the earth is useless to cut from above. New branches grow back even stronger." Moral: Bhagat Singh's body was extinguished at 23, but his ideas still live in the heart of every young Indian 100 years later. Part 2. Fearlessness in the face of death. When asked in court why he threw the bomb in the assembly, Bhagat Singh answered, "It takes a loud voice to make the deaf hear." He turned even his execution into a message, demanding to be shot rather than hanged, like a soldier, because he considered himself at war. Story: The Lamp and the Storm. In a fishing village in Bengal lived an old boatman named Subodh Da. Every night he lit a lamp by the shore so returning boats could find their way. One night a fierce storm hit. The villagers said, "Tonight the lamp will go out. Don't bother lighting it." Subodh Da picked up the lamp and walked to the shore anyway. Each time the wind tried to snuff the flame, he cupped his hands and relit it. By morning, the fishermen said that in the middle of the darkness and storm, one flickering light on the shore had been their only hope. Moral: Fearlessness doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means not letting your voice or your flame go out in front of it.
Part 3. An endless hunger for knowledge. Even in jail, Bhagat Singh ordered and read hundreds of books. A prisoner whose days were numbered still refused to stop learning. Story: The Blind Potter's Wheel. In a village in Uttar Pradesh lived a potter named Mangal. In his youth, an accident took his eyesight. The villagers assumed his craft was finished, but Mangal refused to give up. For months, he learned to feel the moisture of clay with his hands and listen to his wheel until he could shape pots by touch and sound alone. 5 years later, his lamps and pots were famous across the district. Mangal would laugh and say, "Eyes are just one way of seeing. If the hunger to learn is strong enough, a person finds their way even in the dark." Moral: Bhagat Singh's cell had little light and even less time, yet his hunger to learn never dimmed. Part 4. Questioning Religion and Blind Faith. Bhagat Singh's most famous essay was "Why I Am an Atheist."
He believed blind superstition weakens a person, while the habit of questioning and reasoning makes them strong. Story: The Saint Who Crossed the River. In a small town in Bihar lived a young man named Kamal. Tradition held that before crossing the river, everyone had to touch a special stone at the shore temple, believed to keep boats from sinking. Kamal's grandfather, an experienced boatman, told him, "Son, it isn't the stone that saves you, it's a strong boat and the skill to read the weather." Kamal spent years learning to sail and read the sky. One day, in a fierce storm that sank every other boat, Kamal's boat returned safely. When villagers asked which stone he had touched, Kamal replied, "I didn't touch any stone. I spent years understanding the river." Moral: Bhagat Singh wanted people to trust reason and understanding, not blindly follow ritual.
Part 5. Equality and True Socialism. In his diary, Bhagat Singh wrote, "The laborer is the real sustainer of society. And also, the sovereignty of the people is the ultimate destiny of the workers." He dreamed of a society where opportunity belonged to everyone, not just a privileged few. Story: The Shared Well. In a Punjab village lived a Thakur Pratap Singh. The village had only one well. One year, a terrible drought struck. Pratap Singh's son suggested saving the water only for their own family, but Pratap Singh refused. "This well is on my land," he said, "but the water is not mine alone." He created a new system where every family received an equal share. Through that drought, the whole village stood together and no one went hungry. Moral: True progress happens where resources are shared according to need, not hoarded by a few. Part 6. The Real Meaning of Revolution. Bhagat Singh's slogan, "Inqilab Zindabad," is still on every Indian's lips today. He wrote, "Revolution is the inalienable right of mankind. Freedom is the imprescriptible birthright of all." True revolution happens in ideas, not weapons. Story: The Old Dam. In a Maharashtra village stood an old mud dam that broke every monsoon. A young engineer named Vinayak returned home and said, "The real problem lies in the foundation. Patching it from above won't save it." After months of hard work, a new dam was built on a solid foundation. That year, even in a fierce monsoon, the dam held. Moral: Freedom and revolution are not gifts given by anyone. They are every person's birthright, and real change comes from the roots, not the surface. Part 7. Law and the Will of the People. Bhagat Singh wrote in his diary, "The sanctity of law can only be maintained so long as it is the expression of the will of the people. A law that serves only power against the people loses its moral authority." Story: The Changing Road. Near a forest in Chhattisgarh stood an old road where every traveler had to pay a toll, even though the road had become worn and dangerous. The village head, Sohan, went to the royal court and said, "When this toll was created to maintain the road, it was fair, but now the road itself endangers us, and yet the toll remains? This is no longer justice, only a burden." The road was eventually repaired, and the toll was only charged when it actually served the traveler's welfare. Moral: The day a law stops serving the people and only serves power, questioning it becomes a duty. Part 8. The True Meaning of Sacrifice. Bhagat Singh wrote, "Personal ambition was never my priority at any stage of my life." He asked the British government to shoot him like a prisoner of war rather than hang him, a message that he was dying like a soldier for his country. Story: The Soldier's Final Condition. In the Rajasthan desert, a small troop was surrounded by the enemy. Their leader,
Arjun Singh said, "We will lose, that much is certain, but how we lose is up to us." When the enemy offered to take them prisoner instead, Arjun Singh replied, "Let us fall fighting on the battlefield, not humiliated as captives." Moral: true sacrifice isn't just giving up your life, it's rising above personal ambition to live and die by your principles. Part 9. Humanity is the greatest faith. Bhagat Singh wrote in his diary, "I am a man, and all that affects mankind concerns me." Above caste, religion, and national borders, his deepest concern was humanity itself. Story: The famine of two villages. Two neighboring villages in Karnataka had an old rivalry. One year, a terrible famine struck, wiping out one village's grain entirely. The elder of the other village, Ramappa, said, "They are our enemies later. First, they are human beings, like us." The village sent half its grain to its rival. No one died in that famine. Moral: when we think of each other as human beings first, true justice and peace become possible. Part 10. The Real Purpose of Life. In one of his deepest reflections, Bhagat Singh wrote, "The aim of life is no more to control the mind, but to develop it harmoniously, and to make the best use of it here below, in this very life." Story: The Sculptor's Dream. In a Gujarat village lived a sculptor named Govindbai, who spent years carving traditional temple idols without ever asking what he himself wanted to create. One day, an old traveler asked him, "Have you ever sculpted the shape inside your own mind?" The next year, Govindbai carved something new: a farmer carrying his child on his shoulders through a field, an everyday truth instead of a deity. It became the village's most beloved work of art.
Part 11. A Legacy That Never Fades. Bhagat Singh once expressed his life's philosophy this way: "Life is lived on its own. Others' shoulders are used only at the time of the funeral." Story: The Old Man Who Planted Seeds. An old farmer was planting a mango tree. A passerby laughed and asked, "Old man, this won't bear fruit for 20 years. You won't even be alive to see it. Why plant it?" The old man replied,